Hey everybody, Sarah here. It is the middle of the night, and you and I are going to go on an adventure. I got my tiger stripes, and I got my torch lit, and I got my thinky glasses, because we're going into a deep, dark jungle, and we're going to need our wits about us. Don't worry, I have a map, so I'm going to do my best to try and get us through this to the other side. Okay. The person that we're discussing this evening was featured in a video by somebody else the other day. It is the infamous Contrapoints, who was born in Arlington, Virginia in October of 1988, which makes him a year and a half younger than my sister. Random fact. Attended Berklee College of Music for piano in Boston, Georgetown, Washington, D.C., and Northwestern in Evanston, Illinois, which you'd think would be called North Central, but whatever. And almost got a PhD in philosophy, so piano and philosophy, relatable. I studied voice, and then audio tech, but, I obviously dabble in philosophy too. I wonder if he dabbles in audio tech. His occupation on his Wikipedia is listed as YouTube personality, which I suppose now I also qualify as a YouTube personality. I did not ever think I would be joining this club, but here we are. He recently crossed 1 million subs. He's been on YouTube since 2008. So, congrats on 1 million subs. For real. That's no joke. The Contrapoints channel specifically was launched in response to Gamergate, which we all remember, and I am not going to go over. But he didn't start transitioning until 2017, so that's 9 years? And came out as a lesbian last year. Naturally. And now lives in Baltimore, which is John Waters' hometown. I think that's kind of funny because, I wonder if it's a coincidence or what. John Waters also makes subversive, kind of disgusting, weird, dark, funny movies. So, that's kind of fun. Are you ready for this? Because I wasn't. The first time I watched it, it was recommended to me by somebody on Over It, based on 2 throwaway sentences in the middle of the video. Excuse me, about how women not wearing makeup is a weird flex. You'll see it. Let's go.
My face is the front of shop. My face is the real shop front. My shop is the face I front. I'm real when I shop my face.
Are those real images? Those, I'm not a doctor, but those look real.
Hey guys, it's Natalie. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a makeup tutorial as always. But first, story time.
I just want to be upfront with you guys and let you know that I've had some facial surgery.
But I really don't know.
I didn't find any.
Because you mean so much to me.
On the channel,
I've been
I
here
watched
with
several.
you since the beginning, and you've seen my story, my whole entire journey. This journey I've been on as a transgender woman. You've been with me on this whole journey. This is my truth, and you've accepted the truth of my journey. This is a really vulnerable moment for me, and you guys are just so special because you've been here for me throughout my whole transgender journey. The message of my journey is a vulnerable moment of the truth. It's just been so inexperienced on my life and influencer journey. It's just so meaningful that you guys have entered really means so much to me that you guys are supporting the truth of the experience of my transgender journey as an influencer. And it's been so meaningful and a really vulnerable time for me, and I'm just so grateful to you guys because you're so meaningful and you're so. I think the main thing we've learned together on this channel is that makeup is a lot of fun, but it's inner beauty that really counts. Anyway, let's talk about plastic surgery. I had facial feminization surgery on April 2nd, so about a month and a half ago. What we call facial feminization surgery, or FFS, is actually a series of different procedures that some transgender women choose to have to look more feminine. So what I had done is forehead contouring, a brow lift, rhinoplasty, mandible contouring, a trachea shave. You know what? Let's just have the skull lady talk you through it.
The skull
A coronal
lady.
incision was made athwart the cranial vault, whence the skin of the forehead was stripped away from the bone.
Darling, your accent needs just a little work there, darling.
Fragment of the supraorbital ridge was then chiseled away, removed, reshaped, and reaffixed, thereby eliminating that undesirable prominence of a robust brow that oft times distinguisheth the skull of the Chad. A second incision was made athwart the columella of the nasal.
Okay, just a second. He just called himself a Chad, right? Indirectly, obviously. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's what just happened. Which brings us to theme the first. Self-loathing. This person exhibits what I perceive to be just a constant undercurrent, and puts out in everything that he says and does and creates as just a strong undertow of just self-loathing. And it comes out kind of a self-deprecating humor, but most of them aren't funny, and they're just so it's a lot, The lady doth protest too much.
Facilitating the reconstruction of the interior cartilage and bone. Further incisions were made betwixt the gum and cheek, through which the mandible was rasped.
I really kind of think sometimes that maybe he's just lost sensitivity. No, he's completely desensitized to how
exhibiting that aspect
just how messed up and dark a lot of this stuff actually
sounds pretty
is.
gruesome when you describe it like that, but there's actually a very fine level of technique and aesthetics involved. My plastic surgeon is Nardest. The results are natural.
It's because it's really about how you frame it, isn't it?
Which is good, you at least want to leave people wondering. Maybe she's born with it. Maybe a surgeon peeled her face off and fixed her shitty skull. Here's a before and after
I've never
picture.
wondered that in my life.
To use the exact medical terminology, my brow is on fleek, my nose is no longer buzzed at the house, my jaw snatched, and my Adam's apple
You ready for a profile? Look at this.
Maybe Satan's apple. I think I still look like myself. It's not a new face. We're talking about
flat, right?
Here. But to have all that done was, well, it cost a lot of money. The anticipation was, terror like I've never known. The pain was memorable, and the recovery took more than a month. In fact, I still have some swelling in my jowls. Jowls, there's a nice feminine sounding word. Love that. The standard YouTube D-girl thing to do, of course, would have been to vlog the whole journey. Story time, my facial surgery experience, my FFS journey, and post constant social media updates about it. And I am grateful to the trans women who have done that, because it was really helpful to me to be able to watch those vlogs in advance and know what I was getting myself into. But I decided not to post about the surgery because I wanted privacy for the recovery and to just take some time to get to feel at home with the results before subjecting myself to the vicious things they say about me in the tabloids. I think I've been kind of psychologically damaged by reading for years the things people say about my appearance online.
Quite possibly.
I'm not even talking about the haters. At this point, I can
why would you even read most of that
I was reading a transgender subreddit, and some trans woman was agonizing about her appearance, and someone offered the encouragement, you can still look hot even if you don't pass. Just look at Contrapoints. Ugh, like a dagger to the heart. The unintentional shade of it all.
Yes, unintentional, I think, is the key word there. And this brings us to theme the second. Vulnerability, because this person has a susceptibility to ego injury that is just kind of on the extreme side. It's very, very easy to hurt this person's feelings very badly, and that's not healthy, obviously, to go through life like just this giant exposed nerve walking around with the slightest breeze, just the pain. And these performative confessions create this illusion of connection with the audience, that sort of covers up for the lack of connection that you have when you go around covered in emotional armor or war paint or whatever you want to call it.
So the past 6 weeks have been, at times, difficult and lonely, but I did manage to keep my mug off social media for long enough that I'm as ready as I'm ever going to be for the commentary of the internet. So bring it on, you jackals, you vultures, you goblin swine. While I was lying around bandaged and bored, I did have a lot of time to think. And what I've been thinking about is probably the same thing you're wondering right now, which is, why would someone do what I just did? Why would I spend so much time and money and go through so much anxiety and pain just to change a few millimeters of bone? Isn't this all just extravagant vanity? Some narcissistic symptom of phones, but too much? Well, I feel like there's a lot of pressure on me to say that.
Maybe,
in fact,
kind of, yeah.
This wasn't cosmetic surgery at all. Usually trans people say that surgeries like facial feminization, top surgery, genital reassignment, and so on serve the sole purpose of alleviating gender dysphoria, this discomfort we feel with the mismatch between our bodies and our gender identity. So what I'm supposed to say is that my surgery was a medically necessary reconstructive procedure needed to make my testosterone-weathered facial bones match the 5'2" happy baby bouncy bio girl I truly am inside. Thereby,
now there's a dichotomy for you,
helping me safely blend into society and preventing a 5-alarm psychiatric meltdown. And there is definitely truth to that. It's
okay, so you had to have your skull scraped to avoid a psychiatric meltdown, and we're not going to question that. I would question that. That would be probably my first move. Yeah.
Certainly the argument I intend to make when I write this off as a medical expense on my taxes. If you're an IRS auditor, please stop this video now and insert the next floppy disk into your CD drive. But hypothetically
because he's about to tell us why this surgery wasn't about his mental health. Not.
I think the reality might not be quite so simple. How sharp is the line separating gender dysphoria from the other kinds of body image dysphoria that drive cisgender people to get cosmetic surgery all the time? Last year, when I used to foolishly tweet things of substance, I tweeted that I wanted to get FFS, and some trans people responded telling me that I was suffering from internalized transphobia and self-loathing. They compared it to East Asian people getting double eyelid surgery, or so-called ethnic rhinoplasty, which they say are motivated by internalized racism and Western beauty standards.
Which
I think that's a pretty weak
deeper
analogy,
comment
and telling
than
a
the
trans person
original.
to just learn to accept the way they look can actually be kind of transphobic, because
We're all supposed to be taught to accept the way that we look. Okay? Because everybody has bullshit that they deal with. You know, like, hello, I'm a chubby redhead. Don't get me started. Really. I'm a nymphomaniac with a temper. Ask anyone. Yeah. And I really better not get angry about anything because the redhead's mad. So, you know, that's a lose-lose. But the other part of that is, of course, that how you look is just really not that important, honey. It's just not that important.
is a big part of what it even means to be trans, at least for me, is the desire to look more female. But I also think trans people often talk like gender dysphoria is this intrinsic, personal experience that's always 100% valid and never has anything at all to do with the external pressure of beauty standards. But in fact, gender dysphoria is not sealed away in a vacuum away from the influence of societal ideals and norms.
No
Really,
choices are made in a vacuum.
My worst dysphoria was about body hair, so I had full body laser hair removal, and now I'm smoother than a cisgender boiled egg. But where does the idea that women don't have body hair come from? Isn't that just an arbitrary grooming custom? A lot of the cis women I know don't so much as shave their legs, so maybe I'm not even trying to look like a cis woman. Maybe I'm simply doing everything I can to avoid looking like the caricature of a knuckly, hairy, mannish trans woman with which society has terrorized me to my core.
That's funny because burgeoning usually makes me think of boobs, which I don't especially have, but you know what I mean. And this is really sad, right? This is really sad. Like, this boy wants to be pretty. And I think, like, his motto could be, boys can't be pretty. He has to be a girl. He has to be a girl because he desperately wants to be pretty. And boys can't be pretty. Which is bullshit, of course. Like, hello, I've met some pretty boys in my day. Let me tell you. But that seems to be the core belief that's going on here. And that's really sad. Like, hon, wear all the makeup you want. Have mine. I don't use it. But it doesn't make you a woman.
Is this gender dysphoria? Or is it internalized transphobia? Or is it simply a cosmetic preference? When I try to psychoanalyze myself, I find that my desires to look female, to look feminine, and to look beautiful are not exactly the same.
Be beautiful.
They're woven together so tightly that it's kind of difficult to untangle them. And the opposite is also true, that for me, feeling mannish or dysphoric usually goes along with feeling ugly. I don't have a lot of days where I walk out the house thinking, well, I'm giving femme queen realness, but apart from that, I look like absolute shit. Of course, there are qualities that make you look female that aren't necessarily attractive, like cellulite or flabby arms.
Okay, so being mannish isn't exactly equal to being unattractive, like you just said, right? I think you just said that, didn't you? But on the other hand, you wouldn't want cellulite or flabby arms, right?
Which are super fish, but aren't deemed beautiful by society. The truth is, I don't just want to look female. I want to be beautiful. Desperately. God, I'll do anything. Anything. In this video, I
Ha! The darkness is so funny. Jokey darkness is so funny. What is this obsession? And beautiful to whom? I mean, himself, I hope, I guess. But based on what? I don't...
I want to explore why I'm so obsessed with being beautiful, and why it seems like a lot of people who live in a society are so obsessed. Is it phones? It's probably phones.
Margaret Thatcher, I believe it was, who said... I know it was. But I believe what she said was... There is no such thing as society. There is men and women and their families. Margaret Thatcher was the Prime Minister of the UK and stood in front of a microphone and said that there is no such thing as society. I don't know who the fuck it was elected her then. That's kind of weird. But yeah, that's what that comes from, I'm pretty sure, because we do live in a society. People are like, I've seen a lot of people jokingly being like, we live in a society. Yeah, we do. Margaret Thatcher was wrong as shit.
I know you're supposed to pretend that you don't care about being beautiful or that you're not trying, but guys, it's the only thing I care about. I've never tried so hard at anything. Of course, I do feel guilty about being so obsessed with it, because there's this idea that caring about beauty makes you shallow or vain. Smart people aren't supposed to care about beauty. And I've always been categorized as a smart person by people around me.
Okay. Intelligence is like an all-terrain vehicle. It does not mean that you won't get stuck. It just means that you get stuck in more inaccessible places. That seems to be what's happened to our friend Natalie here. He has gotten himself stuck in a very out-of-the-way place.
Some of that is when you're raised like I was, as a middle-class white boy with no athletic talent. Parents and teachers treat you like a fucking genius. Like Einstein nutted a load in Mozart's pussy, and Mozart shat you out while he was getting a rusty trombone from Vincent van Gogh. It inspired his famous painting, Starfish Night. But even among women, caring about beauty is often frowned upon. I feel like an alien species when I hang out with women in academia, and I know a few because I once got half a PhD before dropping out to become a, what do you call someone who makes videos?
Okay, same. I know several women in academia too, old friends of mine who went on to, my best friend actually, who I'm going to see next week, has a PhD and teaches, is a college professor. No, she and her husband are both college professors now. Oh my God. And, I met her when she was 9. Okay, so she wasn't a college professor then. And that's just, I don't know. I know several people like that. Old friends who ended up just going really, really far in academia. And it makes me have to confront the fact that I'm an underachiever. But I still don't wear any makeup.
A cam girl. Most female grad students and professors I know don't wear makeup. To them, the idea of earnestly putting on press-on nails or false eyelashes is inconceivable.
Like,
maybe on Halloween.
Time-consuming. We have better shit to do.
Male-dominated fields sometimes feel like they have to present more masculine to be taken seriously.
Okay, that's
because
true,
of this
though.
prejudice that beautified femininity equals frivolous. But another part is clearly some kind of not like other girls weird flex, which
clearly, based on what? I do not feel that I have the time. I legitimately do not feel that I have the time, not only to apply it, but then to take it off. And I'm terrible for that. Even if I manage to get it put on, and even if I manage to get the makeup put on well, I forget to take it off. Because I do not have a habit of wearing it. So by the time, midnight rolls around and I'm flopping exhaustedly onto my pillow, I've forgotten that it's there. And I wake up in the morning and roll into the bathroom and look in the mirror and go, what the alright, shit. And why am I going to battle through that? To make that a part of my routine? To fuck up what is left of my skin at almost 40? Why am I going to do that now?
Okay, fine, whatever. I'm not going to judge another woman for the way she copes with a society that
I have 4
pressures women to
kids.
be beautiful
I'm
while
not either,
simultaneously
but
belittling them for caring about it. I guess my way of coping is this tacky, heteronormative, and tragically sincere aspiration to some kind of post-ironic feminine beauty. Why am I like this? Well,
I don't know, but I don't think you're coping. I don't think it's coping. I think it's escapism, plain and simple, and straightforward. The absolute, just most escapist of escapism that there ever could be, because you've just completely rejected yourself. Which, of course, is, the seed of narcissism? Is this rejection of the core self? Yeah. And beauty is supposed to be subjective anyway. Like, I love how he just assumes that everyone is secretly as obsessed with makeup as he is. Secretly as obsessed with being pretty and beautiful as he is. Just in a different way. No, I literally do not have time. I don't have the mental bandwidth to worry about that shit the vast majority of the time. I have figured out what kind of clothes suit me, and that's what I wear, and so I look decent, I think, most of the time. This is special just for you, honey, because I wanted to get in the spirit of the occasion, okay? You show out with all of your costumes and your sets and stuff, and I don't have any of that, but I have clothes, and fire! So, let's go deeper into this jungle.
Part of it is vindictive transsexualism, pure and simple. To all the people who ever called me a man, I want to say, fuck you, by looking like the undeniable visual archetype of a woman, which is a beautiful, feminine woman who's wearing 600,000 sequins. They're biological sequins. Ooh, that is some ASMR right there, isn't that?
You're right about not judging people for how they cope, though, and I definitely don't begrudge you your sequins. They're super shiny. And
another
flaky.
factor is this shitty website. I'm a professional YouTube influencer, forgive me father, and I'm on camera all the time. I edit my own videos, so I spend upwards of 60 hours a month staring at my own face on a screen. Now you try doing that and see what kind of fucked up complex you develop. Plus, I compare myself to other women who make videos. A lot of the
that first thing about editing his videos, that really, really struck me, because I recently saw a young woman from the other side of the world say exactly the same thing. Okay, she lives in Europe and was talking about how after she's been doing the YouTube thing for several years, and after spending hours and hours and hours editing her own videos, that, staring at her face makes her super conscious of the flaws that she perceives. And so she's planning on getting plastic surgery because it is cheaper than getting therapy. I don't know which one is cheaper here where I live, because I cannot afford either one.
The trans women on YouTube are so young and so beautiful, it makes me want to throw up. And in comparison, for a long time,
gosh,
I've
why
felt
can't
like
you just
this
be happy for someone for
shabby,
being pretty?
aging transvestite, just this feral cat wandering the aisles of the liquor store. So I'm insecure, I'm compensating for that whole mess, but I honestly don't resent
that
the beautiful
vulnerability.
people. I really just stand the hell out of them. I follow this woman on YouTube and I want to be just like her mom. Her name is Dame Jefferson Star. Her name is Lady Jane McLean. Senora Nicole Beatrice Victoria. Tatiana
nice for the
Petrovna
shout-outs, because you really just
and of course
stand
my
the
queen
hell
and
out of
perfect
them,
goddess,
right?
Miss Diana, whose portrait I've painted
Jealous
hundreds
at all,
of
even though
times.
you
So there's
just
maybe some extra intensity for me, but I think
totally
it's
said
actually
that
pretty
you were.
normal to want to be beautiful. I think even grad students want to be beautiful. They just want to do it in that Becky kind of way where you...
Girl, you just claimed to know grad students. They barely have time to sleep. What is this? You made this up.
Scoff at anything glam or artificial, and it's not just women who care about beauty either. I mean, gay men in LA have always been getting cosmetic surgery, but now we have the straight surgery. Incels are completely obsessed with the
there's
defects of their
form
personal
and there's
appearance.
function and
the ones who are
whatever.
completely black-pilled are obsessed with plastic surgery. The incel newspeak word for beauty is looks maxing, because of course they have to go about this in the most heterosexual possible way. It is imperative to implement a skin max regimen in order to maximize looks, money, status, and secure access to females. Oh my god, calm down. Not every sentence out of your mouth has to be worded like a...
Okay, that's actually kind of funny. But I can mute him. That's good.
With the defects of their personal appearance. And the ones who are completely black-pilled are obsessed with plastic surgery. The incel newspeak word for beauty is looks maxing, because of course they have to go about this in the most heterosexual possible way. It is imperative to implement a skin max regimen in order to maximize looks, money, status, and secure access to females. Oh my god, calm down. Not every sentence out of your mouth has to be worded like a dispatch to the police commissioner. Yes, they actually call skincare...
The, comedic timing with this one is real. That part is genuine. But, we're talking about incels now, and I don't. But I want to keep it rolling, because his video's long, and mine's going to be longer. He's trying to make the point here that everyone is obsessed with beauty, which is subjective. Right?
Everyone's obsessed with beauty, whether man or woman, cis or trans, gay or gamer. Maybe lesbians are just straight chillin', while everyone else has completely lost their minds. But why? Why do we care so much? Well, with incels, by their own account, the only reason they care is they think that looks maxing will make femoids have sex with them, and they think that will make their lives feel meaningful, which, it will not. So incels are cancelled.
Okay, so he just said that, the pursuit of shallow external goals is not going to fulfill you. Relevant?
What about women? What's our deal? What's our sitch? What's our vibe? What's
I'm
our
not sure how you can
men
possibly
seem to
tell
think
us
that women are
this,
like
but I'm
converted
listening.
incels, that we care about beauty and wear makeup, fake
This
up,
is why
because
we're
we're trying to
here,
attract
after all.
men. My daddy Don went on Vice News last year and said that women wear makeup because they're trying to stimulate male sexual arousal and because evolution. Now, at the risk of being bratty, I gotta say this is maybe 10% true and 90% false. For one thing, straight men don't like makeup. At least they don't think they do. Here's a chart I made illustrating what every straight man in the world thinks about makeup. Yes, I asked
Well,
all of them.
obviously the
If you wear
chart
no
makes it
makeup,
true.
they think you look diseased. And I actually do look diseased when I don't wear makeup, so fair enough. If you wear natural makeup,
There's that
a little concealer,
self-insult.
mascara,
He's
maybe a nude
insulting
lip,
himself.
they think you're not
guys.
wearing
Oh,
any
it's
makeup,
funny.
and they
Ha
like
ha
it. If you wear
ha.
campy makeup, colorful eyeshadow, heavy contouring, overdrawn lips, they think it's dumb and they hate it. Of course, I'm generalizing. Hashtag not all daddy doms. But if women really wore makeup to attract men, then you'd expect that they'd stop wearing it when there are no men around. But that doesn't happen. About a month ago, there was that video going around of a woman showing how to make jailhouse makeup, mixing deodorant and magazine ink.
It's almost like the internalized misogyny doesn't go away when there are no men around.
Make eyeshadow, using Kool-Aid and Vaseline to make lipstick. There's not a lot of men in women's prison, but women are still performing incredible feats of ingenuity and resourcefulness just to wear makeup. So maybe women are using makeup to express their individuality and femininity, things that prison tries to take away from you. Kind of makes sense. There's a Refinery 29 documentary about prison cosmetology and also sexual exploitation, yikes, in which a former inmate describes how women would engage in sexual bartering with male guards just to get makeup.
If a girl's performing sexual favors for an officer, he would bring her in colored pencils, lip gloss, things like that.
That's right, women are sucking dicks so they can put on makeup, not the other way around.
No, yeah, a lot of them are totally doing it the other way around. It's called clubbing. Yeah. You've probably heard of it. But, this is... Why would you go to this? Women in prison are A, not representative of the general population. That's why they're not in it. B, are probably traumatized and not necessarily in their right minds. And also, maybe wearing the makeup gives them just the sense of normalcy. If you're accustomed to living with that representation of your internalized misogyny, and that's what you are accustomed to your face looking like in the goddamn mirror. I mean, it's like styling your hair too, right? It doesn't have to be that deep. Sometimes a cigar is just a cigar. Sometimes a lipstick is just a crayon. Also, male attention can be, a quick ego boost when you're in a dark place. I think a lot of us have been there. Not to mention that you give him a blowy, you didn't actually spend anything, and he didn't actually get anything but an experience and a smile on his face, and you walked away with a hard, object that is highly resellable. You can get money for that, you can get favors for that, you can get food, any kind of object, makeup is extremely resellable. So maybe it has something to do with that too.
Honestly, if all the men died tomorrow, I'd definitely keep wearing makeup. In fact, I might wear more. And I'm not just saying that because I'm trying to win feminist points or anything. Do I want to attract men? Yes, of course I do. Do I want to attract women? I guess. I don't really think about it. Isn't it safer to just secretly fall in love with them while quietly dying inside? Whatever, it's fine.
I'm not sure who that is.
Non-binary people too, of course, but right now you guys are kind of getting in the way of my crudely stereotyping people based on gender, so how dare you? The point is, when I think about my appearance, wanting to attract people to have sex with is not the main thing going through my head. What is going through my head?
Fair enough. Not everything's about sex, right? I believe that. But I feel like this person doesn't have a super close relationship with reality anyway. Want me to cat? Punky. That's Punky. Ma'am. I hope y'all are enjoying this because I have somehow managed to be working on this all night. This is the second recording, so I'm breaking out the peanut butter cups. But this poison needs to be expunged.
I guess I just want to feel beautiful. I want to see myself in the mirror and think I look
This poor
snatched.
boy just wants to be
I don't feel pretty
pretty.
very often. I'd say it happens about once a month. When I'm having a good skin day, I do my makeup just right, I glisten with setting spray, and then it happens. A tingle goes up my spine. I am Botticelli. I am Van Gogh. I have created beauty. I'm a girl. and then it's over. That's it for a month. Usually when I look in the mirror, I can't actually tell whether I'm pretty or not. Like with other people, I can just look at them and instantly make a judgment about it.
Weird,
but
right?
with myself, I have to just guess. It's the same as being a trans person trying to figure out whether you pass. Would you clock me? I'd clock me. I'd fuck me too. I don't
Silence of the Lambs.
Get out of my room, Mom. It doesn't work
Okay,
like that for
Bill.
me. I have to rely on other people's feedback. Of course, the problem with other people's feedback is that people are liars. You look great, hon. Especially when those people are your fans. Boots the house queen, stuff in my throat, mother, I'll die for you. Oh my god. Or when they're your haters. Your disgusting giant collarbone outs you as a man at 1,000 paces. I guess I'll never know whether I'm pretty or not.
Beauty is subjective. And those two people clearly would be disagreeing strongly about your appearance. That makes them liars? Why? That's paranoid as hell.
But I can't estimate. Like, I have figured out that I'm too pretty for Twitter, but I'm not sure yet if I'm pretty enough for Instagram. It's hard being a 6. I have been dipping my toes in the Instagram water. Before my surgery, I got into a pretty good rhythm of posting my shitty little makeup looks, and what I find addictive about it is this constant flow of positive comments from other people, even though I know it's mostly flattery.
I have a hard time even keeping up with all of my messages, and I have nowhere near 1 million subscribers. Like and subscribe. Like if you're having a good time. Subscribe for more fun stuff like this. And not like this. We're going to have a good time. Anyway. Yeah. What?
You invented beauty, perfect angel, choke me, mommy. Every time I get a comment like that, I'm perfectly aware that it's wild exaggeration fueled by parasocial delusions. But I still get a hit of dopamine in my biologically female brain.
Okay, so
and the intoxicating thing about
admitted to be a
Instagram is that
dopamine
the
addict.
embellishment of the truth is a two-way street, thanks to the miracle of Facetune. Yes, we finally get to talk about the phones. See, it's a black mirror because it's a window into the darkness of the human soul. Get it? Should I
There we
explain
go,
it again?
yeah.
Phones live in a society. Facetune is an app that lets you fix all the problems with your face. So here's an unedited pre-FFS picture of me. What I would do in Facetune is smooth out the complexion, shrink the nose a little, bring the jaw in, and you...
Okay, yeah. Makes his face perfect. And everybody's been doing it for years.
Changed is that now everyone is doing it to their own photos every day.
I am not.
I've noticed that when I'm in the habit of editing my flaws out of pictures, when I look at an unedited picture of myself or when I look in the mirror, my eyes go straight to the flaws.
Well, yeah. Why would in the world would you ever get into a habit of editing your pictures to look like not you? That's bizarre. And I have so many other things to do. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Why are my pores so big? Why aren't medical scientists doing something to stop this? Is this really a good use of my mental energy?
No.
Here comes that guilt again. Instead of worrying about my pores, shouldn't I be helping stop the impending climate catastrophe that's going to destroy the planet if we don't change the economy in like 12 years?
There's a false dichotomy for you. Like, there's a million other things besides your own reflection and climate change. Pick one. Literally anything. There are many, many things. I myself usually devote most of my time to things besides those two. Like, this is the actual physical embodiment of Narcissus, right? Who got so distracted by his reflection that he fell into the water and drowned?
Shit, I guess it's 11 years now. It's just hard to focus on climate change when there's so much else on my mind.
I think the scientists
It's just
are
so
focusing.
cute. I guess I'd just rather think about the aesthetic than the apocalypse. And that's the darkness. Why is my neck like 2 decades older than the rest of my skin? Do I need Botox yet? Should I get a facelift? These are the questions that will no doubt define the next couple decades of my life. As if it wasn't bad enough to have to go through a second adolescence on camera, I also have to deal with aging, and thus the ritual of skincare products. Here's my daytime routine. So first, I'm going to mix the Dermalogica exfoliator with
so
the
this
cleansing
is
gel and
really
just
fun.
massage my face.
I
None of
don't
this is
think
sponsored,
this
by
is
the way.
an
This is just me supporting
intentional
corporations
homage
out of the
to
kindness
American
of my
Psycho.
heart.
Because if it
Now, if
were,
I'm not running late for something, I will do a
the
face
narration
mask,
would be in a
but
voiceover, right?
if I'm out of bed, it's because I'm running late for something.
At
so
the very least. You know, and there's that
I've
long
never
tracking
had a face
shot,
mask.
you
Now,
know,
I'm
and I
using
feel like
toner,
it's
which is very
really
important.
easy to capture
Now, a lot
that.
of people don't know what a toner does, but
Toners.
of Korean yeast directly into my eye.
Expensive Korean yeast. Is that a real thing? Is that a joke? I honestly don't know. My skincare routine involves, like, Micellar water and Olay cream. And sunscreen if I'm going to be outside a lot. Sometimes. Oh, there's the jokey darkness again. Like, I just can't. How do you spend this much time in front of the mirror?
More expensive mist. Yes, God. I love a good facial. I'm so fucking wet right now. So after all these products, does my skin look clearer, younger, more toned? Well, it's hard to say for sure, but it certainly is moist. This is the part where I usually just stare at my own face for 10 minutes and contemplate the futility of my struggle against the ravages of time.
Why? Get up. Just get up and walk away. Go find something else to do. Get a real hobby.
Vanitas vanitatum et omnia vanitas, for dust thou art, and unto dust shalt thou return. Leastwise I shall bequeath a female skull.
No.
So, isn't beauty supposed to be fun?
No. Beauty must suffer. Beauty is pain. Those are both sayings that I definitely did not make up. And if you have been raised as a girl, you would know that. Okay. The most obvious example that comes to my mind is foot binding, which looks extremely painful and was considered the height of beauty in China for hundreds of years. And, you know, that stuff that you have all over your face is probably toxic. So, yeah.
I'm not having fun right now. Why am I not having fun?
You sound like a boy right now.
I guess I just don't feel beautiful.
It's not supposed to be fun. And it's not about feeling beautiful. It is about appearing beautiful. Even if your feet are bleeding and even if you are dying inside. Which I feel like is a sentiment you could probably relate to.
I know a lot of other people have it worse than me, and I know I should be grateful, and I know I'm privileged to be able to get plastic surgery, and I know I shouldn't care so much about this in the first place. But the truth is that this just eats away at me.
I know I'm privileged, but I'm in pain.
And I'm losing a lot of time and life to this pain. I've been kind of depressed this past month.
Get up and walk away
part of it is that
from the
on
mirror.
A subconscious level, I think I was hoping that surgery would completely change my self-image and make me like myself. But
and I feel like that is a super heavy insight. Bravo. He doesn't do anything with it, of course.
But it really hasn't. I mean, I'm happy with the results. I'd do it all again. But I still feel the way I felt before. You have to keep in mind that surgery fixes very specific...
He still feels like he felt before. Because pursuing shallow external goals is not fulfilling. Right? Remember?
The way I think. Because I'm trapped in a doom spiral over here. And if I'm ever going to get out, I think I need to... the way my forehead looks and profile problem. But it's really not a solution to deep psychological issues. I still don't feel beautiful, and I need to face the fact that I'm never going to feel beautiful unless I change the way I think. Because I'm trapped in a doom spiral over here, and if I'm ever going to get out, I think I need to start by forgiving myself for wanting to be beautiful.
Yeah. I think that's true. This boy just wants to be pretty. And he is absolutely just all twisted up inside about it because somebody told him that boys can't be pretty. Why in the world that is his heart's dearest wish? I'm not sure. I'd really like to be, you know, like maybe well known for something that, you know, positive that I've worked hard to accomplish. Yeah, you know, same diff, I guess. But like, maybe if they had just let the poor boy be pretty, he could have gone on to develop, you know, wider goals. You know, I just think it probably would have been a good thing if you didn't make him feel like a monster because he wanted to wear makeup. That's shitty. The being trapped in the doom spiral is really the scary part. You know, because this is definitely not a joke. And it's some pretty solid insight, you know, and he says in order to get out of the doom spiral, which is, you know, crashing and burning, right? I don't know what exactly the definition of doom spiral is, but it doesn't sound fun or pretty. needs to start forgiving himself for wanting to be beautiful. Or, I don't know. He's already said he doesn't want to question his concept of what beautiful is, because people have suggested that and he doesn't want to do that. He seems to not have been very successful in cultivating the self-forgiveness, which we'll see before this is all over. Let's see. He also seems to understand forgive as rationalize.
There's lots of reasons to want to be beautiful besides being shallow and vain. For one, beauty is associated with youth. It's a symbol of life, of defiance, of death. That's a profound thing to be concerned about. See, I'm not a bimbo, I'm a poet. Beauty
It's
is
okay
also
to want to be
associated
pretty
with moral
because
worth.
it's deep.
The beautiful princess versus the evil hag. There's studies showing that
It's okay to
conventionally
want to be
attractive
pretty
people
because
are
it's
more likely
good.
to be assumed to be happy, healthy, and trustworthy. They're more likely to be higher.
It's okay
so
to
it's not
want to
just
be
about
pretty because it's
Instagram likes. This
positive.
is serious stuff. And we, the
It's
woke,
okay to
we're
want to be
all
pretty
aware
because
of
it's
this.
serious.
We know that beauty is power, that beauty is political. We know that beauty standards come from the people with privilege in an unequal society.
It's okay to want to be pretty because patriarchal lines of power? I don't know. I think that's your weakest argument yet, bud.
We know it's unjust that being light-skinned, cis, able-bodied, or thin is considered more attractive than being dark-skinned, trans, disabled, or fat. We know that female beauty matters so much because of patriarchy. We know that our obsession with beauty is being provoked by advertising, the cosmetic industry, and beauty influencers who are trying to sell us products. We know all this because we've all been sitting around critiquing it for decades. Because that's what leftists do. We critique things. We are finely tuned detectors of racism, sexism, ableism, fatphobia, transphobia, and capitalism run AMAC. We notice an injustice, we problematize it, we critique it, and then we cancel it. But what's next? When we're done critiquing things...
He's rationalizing away the frivolity of it, because it's okay to want to be pretty because being pretty is important. But why can't you just have fun for fun's sake? Why is that not okay? Why does being pretty have to be good or important to be okay? You can just have fun. That is allowed in the world. And it just, his awareness of any of this does not mean that he rejects any of it. He's sitting here criticizing it and pointing out all the flaws, but we're about to double down.
What are we supposed to do? Because I'm aware that conventional beauty standards are a racist, sexist, ableist, fatphobic, transphobic social construct designed to preserve power relations and sell products.
You could cultivate that self-forgiveness you were talking about a minute ago.
To be conventionally beautiful? Well, no. I want it more than ever. The problem is that the intellectual exercise of critiquing things doesn't usually affect my desires very much. So what am I supposed to do? Sit here in silent contemplation until my desires finally align themselves with the interests of the international proletarian revolution?
Gosh, what do? Just sit here and wait for the congruity to magically appear out of nowhere? Or, but why do that when you can just pretend that the incongruity doesn't exist? I am a girl. I am a girl. I am a pretty girl. I am a pretty girl. I am a pretty girl.
Oh, fuck the revolution. I want to be a pretty rich girl. I don't want to be Contrapoints anymore.
Is that not the most conservative thing you've ever heard?
Fascists on YouTube was an idea I came up with when I was a male alcoholic. Unfortunately, America needs a Contrapoints right now more than it needs a 30-year-old Gigi Gorgeous impersonator. So I guess I'm stuck with it.
I don't know. I hear that female impersonators can make pretty good money if you find the right place to work at. But you need a Contrapoint. Because this pseudo connection is helping you ignore everything that I've been talking about. Fuck the revolution. I want to be a pretty rich girl. That is just extremely conservative, right? My God. It's beyond conservative. Fighting fascists on YouTube was an idea I came up with when I was a male alcoholic. It just now occurs to me that kind of equates male with alcoholic, which alcoholic is, bad across the board, whereas being male is kind of generally more of a neutral term, but not in that sentence it wasn't.
Maybe it's for the best. Critiquing society may not change our desires, but it can motivate us to change society, and changing society can change our desires.
That's really interesting. And it's completely backwards. He's just a boy who wants to be pretty, and if society didn't punish him and tell him that boys can't be pretty, maybe he would have developed higher aspirations, like I was saying. The desire is not the problem. The desire to be pretty is not your problem. The existence of all of these standards is really more the problem.
So, how do we change society? Revolution. Well, sure, revolution. Depending on what happens in 2020, I'll think of grabbing a brick myself. But failing that, I think there are ways we can work to loosen the grip of restrictive beauty standards without the futility of trying to stop caring how we look. I do think representation matters, and I think having visible beauty icons who are dark-skinned, or trans, or gender non-conforming, or disabled, or fat, or over 35, or influencers makes a big difference. Beauty standards are social constructs, and social constructs can change.
True. Crazy idea. What if we didn't have any visible beauty icons? I mean, you know, we can all just kind of agree that someone is super attractive and, like, know that, and we don't have to make a big fucking whoop-de-doo about it. Because we're not supposed to make a big fucking whoop-de-doo when someone's ugly, right? Maybe it's just not a good idea to single people out based on something that they didn't actually do.
That's why it's so important to recognize that influencers are just as valid as other celebrities. But the problem with changing society is that it takes a long time, and this video is almost over. Where I can see an escape from my particular doom spiral is in style as an alternative ideal to beauty. You can...
Okay. I can see where you're going with that, I think. But, like, what happened to the self-forgiveness?
Be stylish at any age. You can be stylish whether you pass or not. Style is a way of cultivating a personal aesthetic that you have complete control over.
No. Wrong. Style is, renders complete control unnecessary. A strong sense of personal style is a strong sense of who you are. And it makes, you know, it renders the opinion of the rest of the world irrelevant. It's not armor. It's personal strength.
It's like art, and that originality is a virtue. Style is an individual aesthetic, unlike the collective aesthetic of beauty standards. As the poet Wordsworth said about artistic appreciation, every author, as far as he is great and at the same time original, has had the task of creating the taste by which he is to be enjoyed. So even if you don't conform to conventional beauty standards, through the power of original style, you can create the taste by which your unique beauty is to be appreciated.
Well, yes. I think everyone sort of has to do that because we all have our own unique look in our own little way, don't we? And you have to sort of be your own advocate in the world, you know, and assert yourself because the world will not be to pass to your door, as some other poet said. I'm awful with remembering who said stuff. But that Wordsworth quote is very insightful, I think, and he has no idea what it means at all. He's too far gone, you know, because applying that quote and actually putting himself out there, actually examining himself honestly enough to drop the facade would mean backtracking, and it's too late to do that now because he had his face scraped in order to avoid a psychiatric meltdown. And you can't unscrape your skull. The things you find yourselves, the things we say these days, huh?
Society may frown upon us 6-foot trannies, but if I know I'm dressed well or my makeup is snatched, I can easily abide any comment, any stare. I can be misgendered and Dairy Queen for all I care. It does not matter. I can strut with confidence because I am basking in the regal knowledge of my own aesthetic superiority.
He has to feel superior just in order to go to fucking Dairy Queen? Jesus, dude, like no one's looking at you. Oh, okay. You're wearing 1,000 colors of sequins and purple eye makeup, so people might be looking at you. But if they're judging you, that's like their problem. That makes them an asshole. Because you're not affecting them. So if they're trying to affect you, that makes them an asshole. And you can safely ignore them.
Bow before me, peasants, I proclaimed to the drive-through window, for I am serving.
Oh, here we go. It's the funny hyperbolous darkness again.
So, I guess that's the solution. I can't believe I single-handedly ended capitalism. Now, does that mean I'm not going to get a lot of expensive plastic surgery? Fuck no. What do you people think I am, some kind of transgender Mother Teresa?
So, we just spent half an hour talking about what, then? I need surgery. I need surgery.
God damn. The audacity of you people. The hubris. Look, I need plastic surgery because I have no style.
I'm helpless, so I need what I want. Makeup tutorials are a daily thing, but apparently a fashion tutorial is a bridge too far.
In fact, after the month I've had, you should be grateful I'm wearing clothes at all. So, that's it for me. I guess I have nothing but the decay of time and age to look forward to. I guess I'll just have to find my self-worth in cultivating kindness, intelligence, and inner beauty. Ew. Gross.
Really? I'm gonna get old. I guess I better develop a personality and some character. Ew. As F. What the fuck is that? That's your conclusion? Wow. This video is 2 years old. That's the kicker here. I don't know how many of you keep up with our dear friend Contrapoints, but yeah, so that's 2 years ago. Let's see where we have.
Suppose someone tweets the fact.
Why do you hate me? Why? I had it queued up, but it's fine.
Good.
Look at this person now.
Fireborn and cauldron bubble. Something wicked this way comes.
Indeed.
Magical deeds are afoot, dear readers.
She's heckling J.K. Rowling. Not the point. Like, this is 2 years later. And the doom spiral's clearly continued, right? Because, you know, the surgeries continue and the pursuit of female appearance continues. But there's only so femme you can become, you know? There's really only so much plastic surgery you can have. And eventually, you're going to run out of stuff. You're going to run out of surgeries to have. You know, eventually you're going to have to ask yourself why none of it made you feel better. And I want to include one last snippet, because I almost died from irony.
1950s misogyny still has some things in common with 2020s misogyny. For example, a lot of men still feel some need to control women's sexuality and women's bodies, but it's
or inhabit them. So, like, I guess that level of self-reflection that was evident a couple of years ago has kind of gone by the wayside. And I could go by this video and, you know, demonstrate that more, but I'm not going to do that because we're already almost in an hour. Thank you so much for watching to here if you have. I've had a lot of fun going on this voyage with you. Our journey. You've been with me on this journey. Oh my God. Was that nuts or what? Like, what was that? And it's been 6 months. Almost 7 months. The whole year, basically. And that's not to criticize that, but like, I think that our friend Contra might be having some issues. You know, King Critical was talking about how, you know, how much more of a grifter could you be? It doesn't take 6 months to make an hour-long video. And like, yeah, fair enough. It doesn't. It took me all night to make this one. And I didn't really edit anything. But it doesn't take 6 months to make an hour-long video. So, unless, you know, it's the first half of Dr. Dolittle. Maybe. With all the talking animals. Herding cats. You know. But he's just sitting and talking to a camera. He really is. And I don't understand, you know, so Michael doesn't understand why it's taken so long because he's been waiting with bated breath this whole time. Poor thing. And I don't think it's really laziness. I think it's instability. I think that, if you look, the frequency of the posts has been slowly but steadily declining over the last 3 years. And this is actually, I think, really just right in line with that. And I'm afraid that something bad is going to happen, which sounds stupid because I don't know this person. And I've never really spoken about this person before, but I don't know. I can't ignore like this vibe, for lack of a better term, that I get lately, that there's a real conflict, that the conflict is coming to a head over there in the head. So, this is me genuinely voicing human concern and pointing this out because I don't think anyone else is really looking at it this way. Maybe somebody should check on him. Anybody doing that? He's posting random updates on Twitter that don't really quite make any sense. Anybody actually going and checking on this person, as a human being? Just a thought. I don't know if it's the most feminist thought, but there it is. Obviously, very extremely confused. And maybe in a lot of trouble. So, maybe somebody should check on him. And that's what I got tonight. Thank you so much for watching a whole hour of me. My throat hurts. But we got to meet the kitty, right? So it was worth it. And boy, what a jungle that was. Right? I'm exhausted. I'm going to go collapse into my bed. And don't worry, because I will be back and finding more stuff to bitch about very, very soon. Like and subscribe. Have a great night, and I'll see you soon.